Welcome back, everybody. And let's take on Mars. This is a polar outpost challenge. Right, so I'm going to do for this particular update, I'm just going to show you how far I've got and show you exactly what I've found. Do I need a drink? No, I probably won't need food either then. Alright, so I'm going to head out and I'm going to show you exactly what I've actually found out about the buildings. I'm going to show you the 3D printer, so I'm going to head down to 3D printer on the lake bed. And I've started putting a building together, but it's one of the modular buildings. Now there are two types of buildings in this. There's the Outpost, which pretty much goes together. Yeah, I've also damaged my visor while I was putting something together. Tried jumping up on one of the platforms, and I rolled over and cracked my helmet. Right, so as I was saying, there are two types of buildings. There's the Outpost, as I mentioned, and that goes together pretty simply, rather like the 3D printer and the radiation box that I put together. So it's pretty simple. Then there's the other type of building. Quite badly cracked, isn't it? Is it really a good idea to be using this? I'm not losing any atmosphere, so it seems to be okay. Alright, so as I was saying, there are two types of buildings. The Outpost, which simply goes together a lot more simply than the other type of building, which is the modular outpost, or the modular building. And that has effectively, well, the Outpost, they're very simply put together. I'm getting to here properly without falling over. Okay, so in the cargo truck. And as I was saying in the habitat, as I started to explain, there are two types of buildings. The Outpost, which goes together rather like, in fact exactly like the 3D printer and the little radiation box I put together. So there's just the base, there's the edges, there's the walls, the windows, and of course the floor section is exactly the same as the ceiling, so use that for the roof as well. And also they have the single unit of life support, so the modular life support system. Then there's the other building which is a little bit more complicated, and it has three layers. You have the inner layer, very similar, in fact exactly the same as the habitat back in the descent stage. So you've got like a floor with a wood effect. That fastens to what is called a connection layer, or connection skin, which that in turn connects to the outside skin. Now the outside skin is a more important part, which forms the pressure hull. So without that, atmosphere will just leak away. So that is basically the pressure. That's what keeps you alive. And there's the other modular. The modular building has its own modular life support system. So yeah, it's a little bit more complicated. So I've done a little test construction of the modular building. The other building is pretty simple to put together, like I said, but the modular one with the three layers to it is rather complicated compared to the Outpost. So I'm going to head over to the lake bed. First of all, I'll show you on the large 3D printer, because this one hasn't got any power now. So I'll show you exactly what I mean by the patterns. The different the Outpost, which has its own airlock. Then you have the modular building and its airlock, and a completely different scale as well. park here. A second. So I was going to show exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the actual menu items. Oops. Yeah, I'm going to have to print up a helmet for this. I won't bother with that just yet. It looks a bit strange when I do that, but the fact is, if I walk over there, if I walk a fair distance away from the truck or even the buggy or anything else, it turns the physics off. And a lot of times, if you're walking back towards it, it'll jump, and I've been caught. There we go. See? I've no idea why it starts doing that. I still haven't figured that one out. Alright, so as you can see, I've been quite busy. I've got the 3 RTGs, I've got full cable reel. Is that a full cable reel? Yes, it certainly is. And I've been doing some aluminium and iron as well. And I've got the comms tower there on a concrete block, and with an RTG. Overkill, but unfortunately, if the sun goes down, which it will inevitably do so, there'll be no solar power. And I've got another comms tower just up there. You see a light going on and off on the top of the tower. That's also stuck on top of a concrete block as well. But I've noticed if you have them elevated, you get even better coverage. So right now I've got comms level of 2. If I go towards that tower over there, it goes up to level 3. So, right, anyway, for that. Okay, so first of all, you've got the outpost. As I said, these go together pretty much. You've got the external parts, which are the platforms, the base, stairs, support pylon, which allows you to elevate it. You've also got these. These effectively go in exactly the same way as the 3D printer. They go straight into the ground, straight to the surface. So you've got miscellaneous, got the tank. So really your outpost is for storing, like I suppose like a small outpost for a mining area, if you're mining in a local area. Got fences, you've got critical. Now there's this is the outpost version of the life support module. You've got floors. And you can also do the radiation shield box. So that's the same scale as the outpost. And you have the walls. Tunnels and stairs. Walls. Light fittings. Oh, see, the walls are also the roof as well. Windows. As you can see, it's just one layer. Airlock. Put those together. On there. So you mount them to this, to the side of this, and extend it out like a tube. And then you have the standard door, and you have the airlock door. So that's the outpost. Now the modular requires a concrete block and then the floor section, or you can elevate it by fitting one of those to the concrete block, or more than one of those, then fit one of those. Now obviously this is sealed, this is the outer hull, so go to exterior. So these are outer hulls, that's a covered one. You also have windows, standard glassed edge, which is the window edge. Green. Now you also have the standard glassed corner, which is the window corner. But you also have the greenhouse edge. Now the greenhouse is the building that you put together in the fourth part, the final part of the tutorial for the manned program. So you get to take it apart, and you also get to finish it. But as for the 3-layered modular building, you can't actually, you can only go inside that when they're doing the tutorial. You can't actually take it apart. So there's no opportunity to actually learn. So I have the exterior section there. Covered in a corner. So that's part of the skin. Right, so you got the supports. Obviously, it just showed you. I still don't know what that's actually for. 0G support base. I was like, I mean, feels like you don't make space stations using concrete blocks. So I don't get what it's actually for. Walkways, you have the panels. Cover panels, I already showed all that. Radiation shield, obviously, for the modular building as well. You have the glass sections. So obviously the greenhouse is where you put the hydroponics base. Then you have the inner layer. You have the connections. Now this is what I'm talking about. These lock to the external skin. So that would go on top of the base, the floor section that I showed you. Corner section and the inner section. So if you're making a box, you're more likely to use these rather than these. If you're making a T shape or whatever, an odd shape, you would need these. Exterior connection window edge with panel. You have the panels. Can be used on the floor or the ceiling. Resources. You have the suit holder, which takes up half a panel. So you need at least 2 of those. Stairs. Now the airlock, a little bit more tricky. You have 2 types of airlocks. You have the high airlock and the low airlock. And I've figured out how to use the low airlock because that fits to the shape of the lower edge sections, which are here. These parts. Or in fact those parts. But, and of course you've got the inner low airlock exterior part and you have the stairs. Same airlock door, regardless which one you choose. But the high airlock for some reason leaves a gap between the inner floor panel and the well, basically what it is, it leaves half a panel. And there are no half panels. They're all full panels, full panel, full panel. There are no half panels. Which is rather perplexing, to say the least. So these, even though they look like they're blue, like a tile, they're actually a wood effect. That's something I said before, I think in the previous update video. It would help if descriptions would be here, some description, but also that the illustration matches what you're printing. Now there's a full panel with the utility slot. Now I have that over here. So that is the panel that he's looked at. And yet it's not blue. In fact, that's not blue at all. It's a wood panel effect, which I do actually need. Although not right now, but might as well take it rather than going empty completely. Okay, so that's basically what I mean by there being 2 types of buildings, the outpost and the modular. As you can probably tell, gonna kick me in the face. It's a little bit more complicated to do the modular, and I haven't figured out everything yet. But what I have figured out, it's only the airlock I haven't figured out. The high airlock, the low airlock is already fitted. So I'm going to get over to the demonstration area. take the helmet off. And we shall take a look exactly what I've done up to now. This is just a demonstration. It's just to get the idea of what I need to do. So you can see just on there. It took a while to figure out, but once you realise where things need to go, it's actually pretty simple. It's just figuring things out without any of these proper descriptions. As I said, descriptions would help a lot, but also the illustrations matching what you're printing would also help as well. Alright, so here we are. So I've got the concrete blocks now. It's not a problem if I'm going to be moving this anyway, but so this is not going to be the base itself. This is just a test area. As you can see, there's a few parts over there. That is actually the tunnel. Looks like there's 3 tunnel sections, and I figured out those 2. But this one over here doesn't seem to want to work with anything. Let's grab the helmet. So I'll just show you exactly what I'm talking about. Grab that over the side. Then throw my solar on the side. Right, so you have the outer airlock, which connects to the outer airlock tunnel. Then you have the joint which goes between the base and the external tunnel with walkway attachment. So that's that section, the walkway attachment. Then you have the actual airlock itself, which is the lower airlock. Exactly what I showed you. Can I get up there? Yeah, I can without trying to crack my damn helmet. There we go. So as you can see, I've left part of this bare. So I've got, these are the stairs I showed you. And you see the wood panelling effect still. And that is obviously one of the wood panels. That is one of the wood corners. Then you have the connection there, which connects to the external skin. You have the window. So it all seems to fit together quite nicely. But using the other airlock, the high airlock, you can't put it down obviously, you have to put it up here. At which point you need a set of steps leading upwards. And the only steps there are that do that are the ones I already printed up over here. I'll do that again, not smash my helmet. Right, so that's the actual stairs themselves, but they need to go onto the base, which is over here. As you can see, it's a full panel. But if you put it up towards the actual, if you took it up towards the airlock itself, the inner airlock chamber, there is a half panel gap. Unless you can pull it down. Unless you can put it down there, but obviously it's not going to be much use there. So I won't put it outside. I'm not going to take it apart. As you can see, if you fit it up to there, then put the stairs on top of that, you'd have half a gap here. And there are no half gap inside panels. So that's what was perplexing me, so I decided to do the low airlock instead. just so I can just get on with you know, figuring out other things. But what I come to realise, what I think you have to do, you have to have the high airlock, and it has to be high. And you have another set of steps. You have these ones, but you can also have the short steps, which are about 3 or 4. They're about half the size of that. I've seen those in the 3D printer menu. And we've seen this as well. This is the inner corner. I actually thought when I printed this up first, well, I printed the wrong the wrong part up, because it looks like it doesn't actually fit there, but it actually does. So where this actually fits, if I can get it right. There. So that allows you to extend your base in that direction. So like I said, like a T-junction. If I just make a square box, effectively a square box, then you wouldn't need something like that. You just need the standard corners, both the top and the bottom. Like I said, it's a lot more complicated than you would first think. A lot more complicated. So yeah. So that's a little bit confused. That confused me for a while when I printed these stairs up on the external platform. They're only half the scale. I thought they went with the Outpost. I thought I printed the wrong part up. So you need 2 sets of these that form one step. But obviously you could just do half a railing, which you do. I do half railings. And then a full railing here, a full railing on the back. To form a more narrow corridor for you to walk down, or more narrow stairs I should say. Alright, so, as I said, so there's 2 types of buildings. The Outpost, which is a single skin, simple to put together. You don't need anything, any special sort of mounts. You don't need concrete blocks, you just need the floor mount itself with the rods. A lot more simple to put together. And then you have this version, which is the modular, which is also called the habitat. And this is 3 skins, well, 3 layers. The outer skin, the inner connecting skin, and then the panels. So that's as far as I got. It took a while. I'll just show you these other parts just very, very quickly. I think you see this is the low airlock interior. No, it's not, it's the exterior. Sorry, my mistake. It's exterior. So you can see the walkway down here. So you can see whether it's upside down or not. You also have the door frames to attach to that. And this is one of the so-called interior tunnels. But I'm almost certain now that these are actually, that's supposed to connect to the inner airlock. But it wouldn't. And over here, and that's one of the interior. I don't need to see that's the interior door. I can actually use that regardless. So there's the door frame, which you have to put unless you use a tunnel, as I've used there. You do need to actually put this frame here onto this section over here. Most point is looking at. Like I said, it's not the easiest things to try to put together without any idea of how they actually go together. See, that's the door frame. That's just an interior door frame, not especially for an airlock. And here's the interior airlock section with the rods, just like the connection from the inside layer to the external skin, exactly the same as the connectors. Anyway, it's pretty much the same way. Okay, let me show you very quickly. Just like that. So that locks in. Then you put the door frame on the outside. And you can put the door directly onto this section on the inside, because this is effectively a door frame itself. Whereas this is just a tube. This section I'm highlighting now is just a tube. But it's I thought to myself, well, it's a bit tight. You're walking in there and you cycle the airlock. All it would take is that you've mounted the door the wrong way around, and it'll hit you in the face when you come into the inside part of the building. So I thought, well, I'll put the tunnels on instead. So I printed some tunnels and figured them out. But yeah, like I said, this is supposed to be the inner airlock attachment tube. But that's probably or possibly part of this airlock as opposed to that airlock. So not only have you got two types of airlock, you've also got two types of tunnels that will only lock to the particular airlock in question. So not universal parts. Right, so as I said, that's as far as I have got. So I want to carry on, and it'll probably be quite a while before the next update, because it's taking quite a while to get to work through, and also have other things to do obviously, but whenever I've got any free time, I'm working on this. Alright. So I hope if anyone's been having problems, this has been of help. Parts go together quite, they go together quite logically once you just take the time, just print out a selection of the parts. Maybe fall backwards then. And you can see how many parts. I mean, obviously they're modular. I think they're modular floor piece. Yeah, the floor pieces. Right, like I said, if you take your time, print a selection of the parts out, and just play around with it, just trying to fit things in, particularly sort of configuration, try different things, and you soon work it out. So I want to try and figure out what this high airlock is for, but I'm not in any rush. So what I'm going to do from now, I'm just going to do some edges. Some of these bottom sections, these sections here. Yeah, these here. I've highlighted. So I'm going to do a few of those. Go back, do a few of those, and then carry on putting this together. I'll do a decent sized building, because I've been hearing a few posts, I don't know if you've mentioned this before, but I've been reading some posts on the BS Studios. I'm going to take on Mars Studios. Take on Mars BAS Studios forum, about the modular life support and not working on the modular building. And someone said you have to mount the, for some reason there's a bug in the modular life support system for the modular building, where you can only pressurize the building if your panel, the control panel, is mounted on the east or west wall. I can't understand why that would be. Also, someone said about fitting the modular support system too early, and it miscalculates the building, so it should be the last piece you put in place. So if you want to reconfigure the building, from what I can gather, you have to unplug the life support system, actually take it off, I think, just highlight it with the tool and take it off the wall. That's what I've that's how I interpreted the information anyway. Alright, so thank you for watching. Hope it's of help. It took me a while to figure out, but like I said, I just printed a load of parts out and just tried fitting them together, different configurations. Eventually I got it. But if you're having a problem pulling your hair out, That's exactly how I did it. I hope it is of help. If it was, let me know. It's going to kick me in the face. Whoa, my god, it keeps doing that. Well, it takes one hitting his visor again, I'll be dead. Crikey. Might be an idea to print up some emergency suit patches. Alright, so thanks for watching. Oh, crikey. And I'll see you next time in the next update. I'll see you actually figure out what you're getting. Alright, so thanks for watching again. It was of help. I hope it was of help if you have any problems figuring things out. And if you like the video, you know, as per usual, click the like. I want Nat to people to do that, and subscribe to keep updated on this playthrough on the channel. Anyway, thanks for watching, and take care. Bye bye.